Well, we are in 2022. And the PS5, yeah, that console that is still very difficult to put your hands on in most of the countries, was already released almost 2 years ago. Can you believe it? And although it sold more than 20 million units, there are still many people who are not ready to go from the PS4 to the PS5. And I recently got mine, precisely 17 years ago. And I recently got mine precisely 17 days ago. And in this video, we are going to discuss whether or not you should get yours. But in order for this video to make any sense, I feel that I need to share the experience I had buying the PS4 in day one. I still remember the day or the night I was just sitting in the car waiting for the midnight to reach the clock so I could enter in the store that was open on purpose so the biggest fans of the PlayStation could buy it in the release date. I was so happy. I was only 18 years old and this was the first PlayStation that I was going to pay from my pocket. My parents were not going to give me consoles anymore, so the PS4 has a special flavor for me. And prior to that, the console that I played the most was the PS3. Good times playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Resident Evil 5, Skyrim that I first played in the PS3 and then I got it for the PC. This is how much I love Skyrim. I have 3 copies of the game in different platforms. And because of that, I can tell you that the best platform to play any Elder Scrolls game, including Skyrim, is the PC, but this is a subject for another video. Also, another game that I loved to play in the PS3 was White Knight Chronicles. I just love the game. Not many people know it, but if you don't, I just recommend you to try the game if you still have in your PS3 and can find a way to purchase older games. And among many other games that I played and loved to play inside of the PS3, it was a good generation. Although the weird grill design that everybody's familiar and everybody plays with, I was so excited to put my feet in the next generation that I started saving money to get the PS4 6 months before its release. And also I saved money to one game and the PS Plus for 1 entire year. So I got it. I got the PS4 in day one. Only until I get home and start feeling some small regrets. Just to get started, the first game I got was Call of Duty Ghosts, which was a good game, but was it a good game? Because if you check the reviews, for example, in Metacritic, you're going to realize that although the critics' score was high, the user was not so much. And I will tell you that I'm more on the side of the users, the players, than in the critics, because the game for me was very bad. It didn't add anything that was innovative. So for me, it got very boring very quickly because I felt I was giving money to a game that didn't change that much from the previous games in the franchise. So yeah, I got a little frustrated with the game. But the good part was that right after getting the PS4 and playing Call of Duty Ghosts, what a waste of time, I jumped and started playing the last Uncharted for the PS3 that I played in the PS4, and also The Last of Us that I waited to play in the PS4 because I knew that the PS4 was going to be released and the PS4 remaster was going also to be released. So there was very nice games that I played right on the beginning of the generation. But right after playing those games and a few other that were actually very good on the beginning of the PS4 generation, I started to realize something. And it works for me just like it works for everybody else. No one is going to like every single game in the world. It doesn't matter if the game is super popular, you can be among the people who are not actually going to really like that game just because it's popular, just because everybody else is playing. For example, many of the good games that came out right on the beginning of the PS4 generation was the Souls-likes. Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, I'm not sure if this one was released right on the beginning of the generation, but I'm sure that was not too late too. And I didn't enjoy Souls-like that much because I always played video games to have fun, not to be so mad, so angry that I would be able to kick a puppy in the face. Of course, I wouldn't do that because I have principles, but it wouldn't be for lack of anger. So what happened to me was that after playing those cool initial games, I didn't have anything to purchase. I didn't have anything that I would like to play and to buy to play in a PlayStation 4. So it just stood there, sitting on my desk, doing nothing, turned off, gathering dust. Sad. And for months after that, I just wished I wasn't that hyped to get the PS4 in day one, because I always thought, oh, if I got the PS4 1 or 2 years after its release, because if I got it there, I would never feel that I didn't have games to play in the console, because more games would be out and I wouldn't have to just lose the habit of turning the console on whenever I get home and playing the games I love, because I would have games to love. And I promised to myself that if one day the PS5 was actually released, that we didn't know if it was going to be a thing or not. There was even some rumors saying that the PS4 would be the last PlayStation and they were just going to update the console. That actually is what's happening. The PS5 for me is a PS4 Pro. It's the Pro version of the Pro, so it's basically the same console but on steroids. I know that the internals are completely different, but the retrocompatibility of the PS4 with the PS5 shows that the architecture of the insides and software and so on are more similar than the PS3 to the PS4. And I'm getting out of the script and I shouldn't be doing that. So going back to the story. I promised myself that if the PS5 was going to exist, I wouldn't do the same mistake. And that's what I did. I waited 2 years or almost 2 years to get the PS5. And now I will let you know, was it any different from the time when I got the PS4 in day one? Let's start talking about this actual system inside of the PlayStation. When I got home with my PS4, I felt that the PS4 was a little slow in terms of systems, in terms of the menus in the game, the PlayStation Store. The game loadings were very long, and I just feel that the PSP and PS3 systems were much more snappy. Don't you feel it too? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you are enjoying this story and if you want me to keep bringing more story about the console world experiences and so on, don't forget to subscribe. I won't charge you anything to do that, and drop a like in the video too. Thank you. And something that I realized in the PS5 is that it is even faster and more convenient than the PS3, the PSP, or any other console that I ever played so far. The system is very, very quick and filled with quality of life features, or should I say convenience features? I don't know. Many of them seem that they are not a lot, but if I think that if I had those features inside of the PS4, I would definitely play it way more than I did. It's something that actually is very welcome here in this generation. And it really makes me feel that it's a step forward inside of what the console, what a video game should be like. For example, the instant resume in the game, you just turn on the console, you can go to the rest mode, and whenever you come back, the game opens right after. Just like if you pause the game, it's very quickly, you just have to turn on your television and turn on the console, and everything is going to be exactly in the place where you stopped, even if you don't have a checkpoint. So it's very cool to have it there. Just don't abuse on it, because if the light goes down in your home, you are going to lose the progress. So don't forget to save just because you have this convenience feature in the PS5. There are also lots of things that help lots of players and make the gaming experience much better. Because if you think, not all gamers like the same things inside of the game, thankfully. Some people just like to consume the entire game, but some people just prefer one part than the other. Of course, we all are going to enjoy more one of the parts of the games than all of it, but sometimes there are just a few things that are annoying inside of those games, and I can understand that not all styles can fit for all people, and I know I'm being confusing, but you are going to understand what I mean right after this part. Some people prefer the combat, some people prefer the challenges, some people prefer to go trophy hunting and other stuff. And in the PS5, we have a feature that's called the tips, the live tips. We can just push the PlayStation button and there is going to be a menu where it shows all the tips about that specific game. I know that for some people that would be considered cheating or just using a walkthrough or something like this. But if you think, let's take in the example of Horizon Forbidden West. So you can fight. It has lots of good RPG features, but it also has lots of awesome puzzles inside of the game. So you have challenges that are using your coordination that you have playing with your hands in the fights, the combats, and you also have parts of the game where you are going to have to use your head. But I'm aware that not everybody is going to play the game the same way, and not everybody is going to enjoy all the different parts of the game. Some people just want the combat, some people just want the story and don't want those slower parts that you have to just look around for the perfect place to climb a wall and solve those kinds of path puzzles. So if there is an official an easy way to access to how to solve those problems, those puzzles inside of the game. If you are one of those players who don't like these kinds of puzzles but enjoy all the rest of the game, this be a very welcoming feature for you, and it's going to make the gaming experience better for you. You are not obliged to use it if you enjoy those puzzles, but if you don't, you can use this without having to find a good YouTube tutorial that most of the times are 5 to 10 minutes long, and just 20 to 30 seconds of the video is actually solving the puzzle. You don't lose that much time if you are just looking to the official tips on how to solve those puzzles. So it's very welcoming. It's way better than I was expecting it would be. And you don't even have to take your phone out of your pocket. You don't have to open extra apps. It's all there in front of you, teaching you how to solve the problems without interrupting your gameplay. And I'm sorry for stating the obvious here, but the retrocompatibility with the PS4 is something that's extremely good. And it's sad that we don't have very easy ways to have access to PS3 and PS2 games in the PS5. And also, there are still many games that I didn't play in the PS4. So being able to play all of those games in the same console without having to shift from one HDMI to the other HDMI input inside of the television is something that's very comfortable to do. You can do everything in the same console. So thank you for being able to put the PS4 games at least inside of the PS5. And because of that, you are never going to feel that the catalog, even if you bought the PlayStation 5 in day one, I think that you wouldn't feel that the console was kind of in development as I felt when I purchased the PS4, because you still having the ways to play the PS4 games inside of the PS5. There are games that you didn't play. And also, the games normally in the PS5 are optimized for the PS5. So you're going to have better frame rates, you're going to have better textures, you're going to have remasters nowadays, and the experience is going to be overall better. So the catalog problem probably was never a thing in the PS5 as it was in the PS4. And mainly if you consider that we are talking about buying a PS5 in 2022, you for sure not going to have this problem. There are lots and lots and lots of games to play because the console is already 2 years old and you're still having all the PS4 games to play in the same console too. There is one problem though. The PS5 is still in shortage in almost everywhere in the world. So it's very difficult to get one in standard stores. You always have to go to the aftermarket or the parallel market, if you know what I mean. Those son of a bitches who buys the console for 500 or 400 and then sell the same thing for twice the price just because they know that it's going to be very hard for you to get it elsewhere. So is the PS5 worth it in 2022? In my opinion, yes, in most of the cases. If you want to play high-end games with very good graphics, with very recent technology, without having to invest thousands and thousands of dollars in a good computer that will be able to play them all, it is a very good option. The exclusives are just awesome. For me, in my opinion, this is my opinion, don't take it personally, all right? I don't hate you just because you don't agree with me. But in my opinion, the PlayStation exclusives are the best exclusives. We also already have a very extensive games catalog in the PS5. So we are not going to run out of games to play so fast. And the new PlayStation Plus, it's excellent for the price. Mainly if you didn't play all those famous games from the PS4, like Red Dead Redemption, Ghost of Tsushima, Demon's Souls, the Spider-Man games, and I'm literally talking off the top of my mind. So there are probably many other games that are excellent that are in the new PlayStation Plus catalog that it's totally worth it, the price. So if money is a problem for you and you still want to invest something to play, I really feel that the PlayStation 5 is one of the easiest ways to play video games. Mainly if you take into account that most people nowadays, if you are younger, like 18, 17 years old. I know many people who don't even own an old computer or something like this because you can do so many things with your smartphones nowadays that a computer is turning something that's more of a niche thing if you in terms of work and so on. I know that there are still many people who are younger and they get computers to work at school, to their jobs if they are younger adults, but I really feel that for the price to build a computer that's going to run the games as well as the PS5 is going to run, you're not going to have to invest just $500 in that PC. Of course, this is a conversation for other video, because I know that with the PC you can do lots of other stuff. You can work with that, you can create content, you can do 1 billion things with a computer that you can't do with a console. But if you are a person who are just buying a computer to play games and you are concerned about how much you are going to invest, consider getting a PS5, because with the extensive catalog of games you are going to get with the PlayStation Plus, the new PlayStation Plus, and the price you actually have to pay for the console itself, it's a pretty good deal. We are going to talk about the new PlayStation Plus in a future video, so stay tuned, don't forget to follow and drop a like. But, and a huge but here, don't hate me for saying this, even if you are a PC gamer, and first of all, let me tell you that I am a PC gaming first. It's the platform that I enjoy the most to play games because of the mouse and the keyboard. I think that they are the proper inputs, the most precise inputs to play video games. The PS5 controller, the DualSense, it adds a new layer in the experience of playing a game with the adaptive vibration, let me check the actual names, haptic vibration and adaptive triggers. They just add an excellent new layer to the game. And it's very difficult to put out how cool this feature is in a video. You really have to try it to understand it. And it's not something like graphics that you are just going to look at the graphics and say, oh, that graphics are so cool. And after 1 hour or 2 hours playing with those good graphics, you kind of forget and focus on the game. No, I already played more than 40 hours in the last 17 days that I got my PlayStation 5, and I still doing things on purpose just to feel the adaptive triggers. They are so cool too. You feel the force in your fingers, you feel the strength, you feel how hard it is to pull a bolt string when you are shooting in Horizon Forbidden West, for example. And in some cases, when you are playing Astro Playroom, for example, you can feel the materials. There is a mini game where you just purchase a kind of balls to get the collectibles inside of the game, that when you break the ball, you actually feel the material it's made. If it's made of glass, the trigger is just going to be forced, and then until they half the way, and when the ball breaks, the trigger is going to be very easy, and you are going to feel like snapping your finger in the controller. And if the ball is in metal, it's going to be hard from the beginning to the end. And I know how inappropriate this is sounding like. Don't make fun of me, I'm sensitive. But you get the point. The experience, it's very different, and I really feel that adds so much to the game that's worth it for the extra you are paying to get a better controller. And this is impossible to get in a computer from the point I know. So this to say that if you are a PC main gamer, because of the DualSense, the PlayStation 5 is still a good deal in 2022. So consider this an advice. Now, if you are in one of those regions where the PS5 is still very overpriced because of the governments or because of those shady resellers who are buying all the available PlayStation 5s in the standard market and selling it for profit, I would tell you that you are better to wait a little bit, mainly if you already have a PS4 or PS4 Pro. Because in my opinion, the PS5 is worth exactly its price, not $100 more, not $100 less. This all to say that I'm enjoying the PS5 way more than I was expecting before getting it. I am Lucas Hyland. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it until now, just drop a like and subscribe to this channel if you don't want to lose my next videos about the video game industry. See you in the next one. And also, click in this video. Now remember, it's in this side if you want to watch another video. YouTube thinks that this video is a very good for you and that you are going to enjoy it. So just watch it. You are going to make me very happy. And this is why you are here, to make me happy, isn't it? Isn't it? I know. Bye.